Okay, I'm going to demonstrate how to set up a little kind of disaster rig. Let's say you have a router you like, and all your devices in your home are fed an internet address from that router, wireless, wired alike, doesn't matter. So you got a power outage, cables out in your neighborhood after maybe an extended snowstorm, took out lines, etc. You've got a port that says internet or WAN or something like that. So let's get started with a creative way to share out your cellular connection. So many folks have iPhones. I'm going to show you on an iPhone 5 running iOS 6 how to do this. Tap on Settings on this Verizon device in my case, and I want to share out the LTE to all the machines in my house. Well, there's a few things to point out. If we go into General, if you don't see this personal hotspot function, you can always get to it by clicking or tapping General, and then Cellular, and Personal Hotspot right there. And it tells us, here's our methods. We're going to go with USB because we want to leave this on long term. Let's say you're running off a generator during a storm, for instance. Okay, connect via USB is going to be my preferred option in this case. Let's go ahead and do that. So we've got our Apple Lightning cable, and let's plug it in. And assuming we have Windows 8 installed with iTunes, you get a driver that automatically sees it as an Apple mobile device Ethernet. It sees it as if it's a wired internet connection. It doesn't care or know that it's cellular. Alright, so now we've got a laptop that is on the internet, and it's plugged into maybe a generator so you have extended power. What's next? Well, the next piece is to get your router that's turned off at the moment, and that's intentional, and we want to share out this wireless connection. So we hit Windows key, and C, we bring up the charms. Tap on Settings. What are our options here? Well, we have this thing called T-Baron's iPhone. It's this network connection we're using, right? If we click on it, basically telling us it's connected. Alright? Now, if we go back to the old school kind of Windows 7 looking desktop thing in Windows 8, there's a network icon down there. And I want to show you, if I right click it, it says Open Network and Sharing Center. That's the view I want. And you probably can't see this too well. I'll have to make screenshots of it. But at the top left, I'm going to tap on Change Adapter Settings, and I see a list of all my network adapters. One of them is this thing called T-Baron's iPhone in my case. So I'm going to right click it, say Properties, and go to the Sharing tab, and it says Allow other network users to connect through this computer's internet connection. I click on that, and then it says which connection do you want to share out. It says Home Networking Connection, and I'm going to say Ethernet, or LAN is usually the word it's going to use by default. What does that mean? The connection I'm going to share out is going to be over this network cable. Alright, so it's going to take the internet connection from here, the cellular, share it over this cable, so when you plug it into the internet here, now you power on your router, green lights go on, the internet light, the WAN port will go on, because your laptop's going to feed this thing an internet address. And now, magically everything else in your house, or visitors to your house that are associated with your Wi-Fi, for instance, they're all just going to work. They're all going to be using your data plan on your cellular phone. So what's the advantage of this versus just having everyone connect to your iPhone? Well, desktop wired servers, for instance, or desktops you have in your house, they might not even have Wi-Fi. So that's one big advantage right there. Another would be you can actually blow past any limitations. Like jetpacks tend to have 5 or 10 max. You could actually hook up 15 computers this way. The iPhone itself, in its personal hotspot mode here, it doesn't know or care. And of course it's plugged in, so it'll stay running. The iPhone just sees one connection. So that's also important to point out. So there you have it. I may end up using this rig, or something very much like it, for a hurricane that is coming at me. So this has the advantage of basically just having a laptop plugged in and a router plugged in, and that's all I need to get wireless internet going for my whole house. If I also want wired connections, I have to make sure my power is up for all the devices hooked up to the back of this through switches or directly on the back of a router. You obviously probably have a newer router, but the same thing I just showed you should work with multiple different scenarios. It doesn't really matter if you use a Wi-Fi connection here, connected to, say, a jetpack from Verizon. It's the same premise of what I just showed you. You're sharing whatever that network connection is by right-clicking, going to its properties, and saying you want to share it over the Ethernet connection to your router. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and I thank you for watching.